Sheesh. Yeah. Everybody want to be in entertainment till it's time to get down to the business. Yeah, Glitz and Ghetto, Glitz and Ghetto. Yeah, Glitz and Ghetto. It's Glitz and Ghetto, Glitz and Ghetto. It's Glitz and Ghetto. The glitz and glamour is a setup, 'cause behind the scenes it really is ghetto. Yeah.
What up, y'all? Did y'all miss me? 'Cause I missed y'all. It's been a minute since I've been sitting in this chair to come before you guys with another episode of the Glitz and Ghetto podcast. Now, listen, I'm going to apologize because I did set a goal that every 2 weeks I was going to put out an episode, but y'all know life be lifing. It does what it does. And I wear so many hats, and I know I said this in another episode, but I'm building a team. But until the team comes and I have the right people in place, I got to keep doing the things all by myself. So since I've been gone, I have been on contract with the North Shore Music Theater performing in the latest production of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Shout out to my cast. I had such an amazing time. And in addition to that, I've been directing and coaching and also pursuing some of my entrepreneurial endeavors. It's a lot. It's a lot to handle, but I'm here and I'm making the things happen because nobody's going to make my dream happen other than me. And so right now, I'm really excited to be sitting before you guys, bringing you another episode and just, nurturing all my passions and my desires for what I want to do in my life. I think one of the main reasons why I started the Glitz and Ghetto podcast is simply because I wanted people to see all that it took to really make it in the industry. And a lot of times as professional entertainers, we hope that our agents and our managers are going to be the people that put us on and put us in rooms and put us in position to win. But if you look historically at all the artists who are really big and famous, it was a lot of their own effort. It was a lot of them putting a lot of that hard work and dedication into something where nobody believed in them. Everybody thought it was a fluke. Everybody thought it was just a hobby. And they eventually made it. And so I'm going to be a testament to that. So I really thank you guys for following me on this journey and having the patience and supporting me throughout this whole thing. With that being said, I'm so excited to be back with you guys. And before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's episode, I definitely want to get a little bit of housekeeping done. First and foremost, I am your host, Naderah. Please follow me on all social media platforms. That's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at @I am_Naderah. But more importantly, I want you guys to follow this show because this is where I'll be giving out all the information, all the insights about the entertainment industry, what it's like to be a professional dancer, navigating musical theater, being a singer, being an actress, taking you behind the scenes with the people who are helping to make these productions go live, who are not necessarily on camera, who are not necessarily on the stage, but they are making the magic happen behind the scenes for us to do what it is that we do. Be sure to follow the show on YouTube and Instagram at Glitz and _Ghetto, GHETTEAUX. And the reason we spell ghetto that way is because it's not ghetto like the little hood, baby. It's ghetto because something beautiful comes out of this. It's a process that is rigorous. It's a process that is, tumultuous, but it is worth it in the end, and it creates that beautiful rose that grew from the concrete. Because in the entertainment industry, what you see on camera, what you see on stage is glitz and glamorous, but it's what you don't see behind the scenes, the sleepless nights, the endless flights, the auditions, the tears, the grit, the class, the no's, the highs and the lows. That is Glitz and Ghetto. Okay? So make sure you guys are following us on Instagram and YouTube where you can see all of our content. Now, also, if you want to get insight about the entertainment industry, you want to drop some tea, you want to give us any information that we may be missing out on, please, castings, you're looking for anything, please send us an email to glitzandghetto@gmail.com. All right? Please make sure you do that because we want to make sure that we're staying informed and we want to make sure that we are bringing you guys the type of content that you would like to see. All right. I'm really excited to be sitting back inside of the chair, and I'm not going to be before you guys long, but I do want to say that the Glitz and Ghetto podcast is going to take a little pivot. And the reason why I'm saying that is this podcast was born from live streams that I was doing when I started running in the morning. It started from the morning run afterthought, things that made me feel inspired and motivated. And why did I even start doing the morning run afterthought? Because I was booking jobs and I was losing out on the stamina and the endurance that I needed for these jobs because I wasn't taking classes in Atlanta. I just felt that at the time, the classes weren't nurturing the things that I particularly needed inside of my career. And so I needed to do something else to uplift myself, to keep myself job ready. So I started going on these runs. And initially I hated it, but then I started having these magnificent thoughts about things that typical people don't talk about inside of the industry. And I was thinking about my journey and I was inspired. So I did these morning run afterthoughts to motivate people. That turned into this podcast that you see right now, which is Glitz and Ghetto. And that name came about because I was talking to a friend and I'm just like, what we do in entertainment is so ghetto. And people always think that like, Naderah, you live this fabulous life. It's magnificent. And what you don't see is that I'm a one-man band, okay? I set up this camera. I set up the software to put this podcast on. Hell, I'm holding a mic in my hand because my mic stand broke. It's ghetto, but it still has to get done. My face is still tea. My hair is still curled. The content's going to be put out. And guess what? You are going to get quality content. And that's what matters, okay? And as I continue to talk about pivoting, this season is the fall. And in the fall, we ball, baby. Okay. And what do I mean when I say that? For those of you who know me, you know that I am a diehard rattler and I bleed orange and green. Okay. And from my experience, like I feel that I have been neglecting a specific part of my career because I'm always pivoting and trying to make myself better. But one thing that always comes back to me is my love for HBCUs, HBCU dance, and HBCU marching band. And in the fall, that's when it's the most lit. And that's when you guys are really invested in content around HBCU marching band and dance line. And what I've realized in this journey, and as I see other creators and people in the community putting out information about HBCUs and HBCU dance line and band, it's a lot of people co-opting the culture who are not from the culture. It's a lot of people who are learning from YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok that are just showing you the step, but not giving you the real foundation and the real information that you need to succeed. And for me, more than anything, this journey is about pushing the Black culture forward and investing in HBCU and Black excellence. Okay. So part of the reason why I've also been off the scene is because I just hosted my first annual HBCU Dance Intensive in New York City. Now, for those of you who have been following me on my journey for quite some time, it was in 2017 that I hosted my first HBCU Dance Intensive in Atlanta, Georgia, in collaboration with Drumline Live. I hired a bunch of coaches to come in and work with the girls. And what you know is in the South, HBCU culture is predominant, it's rich down there. It's a lot of people that you can tap on that actually live in the city that graduated from HBCUs that want to pour back into the kids. So it's much easier to access that information. But as I travel to and from Atlanta to New York City and build my contacts and my relationships, as I'm auditioning and really pursuing this life in theater, quite frankly, I realized there is a deficit and a gap in New York City. And there are a lot of people co-opting the culture. And I don't say that to be negative, but there are people who don't come from the culture who want to impart this information on students, maybe because it's trendy, maybe because the kids like it on social media. But I think it is my responsibility, not only as an HBCU graduate, but a top 40 under 40 recipient of Florida A&M University Award, that I do my best to push students to achieve scholarship and excellence at HBCUs by way of dance and music. So I brought my intensive to New York City and it was a major success. Now, I will say this to be very transparent. I was very disappointed that I didn't have truckloads of students inside of my intensive. It was only about 13 people that participated total. But when I think about how most organizations start, like my illustrious HBCU, FAMU started with 15 students and 2 teachers. So I feel like I'm in good company starting with 13 attendees and myself. Okay. I invited guest instructors to come along as well. But I am very proud of the outcome. So make sure you guys, keep up with my production company, Acid Entertainment Group, which is on Instagram at Acid, ASID _entertainment. You know what I just realized? I realized that I always spell things differently. Acid is AS instead of ACID or whatever. Acid, Advanced Solutions for Industry Development. That is my organization. And then also Ghetto, Ghetteaux. It's very bourgeois ghetto. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. What I also realized while I want to do this pivot for the fall, because like I said, in the fall, we ball, is because y'all go crazy for my HBCU content. Let it not be lost on any of us that the first movie that I ever did that I was a principal dancer inside of was Drumline A New Beat on VH1. Then that turned into The Quad on BET where I was a principal dancer. Then that turned into Majorette, heavy quotations on the Majorette because I didn't twirl a baton, on Boomerang on BET. That was my first speaking role. Then that turned into Coachella with Beyonce and Step Up High Water on HBO. And the list goes on and on and on. I'm on the sidelines with ESPN doing all those things. And then even last year, or maybe even the year before, I think it was last year, when I started talking about how you guys like to call dancers majorettes by showing you what majorettes actually look like. And these were majorettes from actual HBCUs. And y'all dogged me out about it. How dare you? And y'all sent y'all favorite influencers to come and get me. But what y'all didn't say is I lied. I may reveal the truth. And it may hurt your feelings. But I'm not going to tell you a lie. In addition to that, my content from HBCU Dance Line was most viral with ESPN and The Undefeated. We had millions of views on a consistent basis. And then a lot of the content that I started doing on my personal TikTok page as it pertains to HBCU dance, y'all were eating it up. I got on Danielle Stamper's live and somebody said, there go the girl who lied. She said she was bringing us content and she stopped. Ooh, my bad, friend. My bad, friend. I didn't know you were that invested. But the numbers were looking good. And so that's what I want to do. So I will be talking about things that are happening inside of HBCU culture, specifically as it pertains to HBCU marching band and dance lines throughout the fall. And that's not going to be our main focus, but we are going to incorporate that. And my hope is that you guys will say hello when you see me at the games, when you see me on the field, when you see all those things coming up. And y'all might be saying, Naderah, why are you switching it up? And I'm not really 100% switching it up, but it's my platform. I get to say what I want to say. And you can stay for the ride or you can leave, but I hope you stay. Because the information is pivotal. And more than anything, like when I think about my journey at my HBCU, I got a scholarship for being a part of a musical theater organization. That helped me to get my education. It paid for my degree because I came from a household where my father was murdered due to his drug addiction. You know, he succumbed to his drug addiction. My mom was a single mother putting two kids through college at the same time. And I really had to hustle to make those things happen. You know, there were times where my brother had to leave school for a moment in time because he just didn't have the resources to do it. So when he had to leave, I had resources like scholarships by way of dance and singing and acting that put me through the university. That's the only way that I was able to graduate in a timely fashion, you know? And so when I'm talking to students and when I'm giving back through my organization and hosting these intensives and talking about the impact of HBCU dance, it's not because I know everybody's going to leave and become a professional dancer, performing artist like I did. It's more so because it provides them the opportunity to have scholarship, to be able to get the degree in something that's going to be life-changing for them. Okay? It is my belief that a lot of people want to be in entertainment, but there's other ways that you can contribute to entertainment, i.e. being a content creator in your particular professional field. You don't have to be a dancer, a singer, you don't have to do those things. And I think it's 9 times out of 10 more likely that people are going to take on professional careers versus going into the entertainment space. And if they can achieve those things by way of HBCU dance and band, I have no problem with it. As a caveat to that, I have friends who are attorneys who were former drum majors. I have friends who are doctors who were former woodwind players inside of the band. Not everybody goes on to be band directors or dance teachers and things of that nature. People go on to achieve substantial careers, and a lot of these people did it by way of the arts. HBCU arts, to be exact. Okay? Beyond this, I'm an educator. The reason why I started this platform is to educate people. And so I'm going to educate you from my personal experience. My personal experience says that I came from a HBCU. A lot of my instructors that I had growing up were graduates of HBCU. Heck, I only knew about FAMU because my elementary, middle school, and high school teachers were HBCU grads and talked about those institutions. My first dance teacher is a graduate of Hampton University. She's a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. My dance auntie, who I like to call Super Black Girl, she didn't go to HBCU, but she is changing HBCU dance culture with her high school dance team that does Dance Line, HBCU Dance Line. She also is a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, had a large influence and impact on my life. And so I really want to talk about those things because I want to impact the people that it is immediate to, but I also want to address those people who do want to go into entertainment, who do have those questions, because as an educator, that is my purpose. That is my mission. Recently, now that we got that out the way, why I'm pivoting, I just want to talk to y'all about the internet heating up right now. So we're just before the fall. Summer's coming to an end. And I don't know about you, but I had a blast this summer. And I'm still going to enjoy the last couple of weeks of it, etc. But the internet is heating up right now. You see all the HBCU content starting to come out. You see people who have no relation to HBCU culture looking for the best HBCU band. We have ESPN that I previously worked with. You know, they have the Band of the Year championship coming up, and they just reached out to me and they want to know what my predictions are for the upcoming season. And when we think about last season, let's talk about where we left off last season. Last season, Southern University took home the Band of the Year for Division I, and Miles College took home Band of the Year for Division II. And then they also have a high school category, which I hope that they expand to be a nationwide sort of submission-based competition, because they're only competing with bands in Atlanta. And while I know that's a easier lift, I think it would be nice to see a Miami Northwestern. I think it would be nice to see a Miami Central. Of course, I'm from Miami, so I'm going to name Miami high schools, but I encourage other high schools in Mississippi, in Alabama, you know, where the HBCU culture is really vivacious, to submit. Tell them we want to be represented as well. We got a community of people that will travel to the city as well. And I want to see other people win, because to be fair, if ESPN continues with only ATL schools, you only going to have so many schools to choose from. Everybody's going to get it at some point or another. And then what? I'm just saying. So Westlake took home the championship last year, but I really want to highlight year 2 high school champion, who is Jonesboro High School. Woo-wee! People on the internet are saying, is this a college? No, they're not a college. They're not a college. But their band director, Linnell, I see you, baby. And I remember when Linnell was like one of the smaller, quote unquote, fish inside of Atlanta. He was building his program and people weren't paying Jonesboro that much attention, but he was coming around and talking to the people, getting involved. You know, he's a graduate of Bethune-Cookman University. And then the dance coach, oh my God, the girls look fantastic. People are looking at them like they're collegiate level. These girls are ready for the collegiate level. They look great. They look fantastic. They're heating up the internet. And so you see them popping up at InvestFest. You see them popping up on music videos. And, you know, they're just all over the city really amplifying their programs. And I hate to say it, and I'm not trying to start no beef, but when I got to Atlanta, the schools in DeKalb County are the ones that was like, that fire. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was really looking at Cobb County like that, because Jonesboro is in Cobb County. And I think Westlake, who won last year, I think they're Fulton County, if I'm not mistaken. But DeKalb County had the marching band world on lock. They really did. The Southwest DeKalbs, the Stevensons, the MLKs, those schools really had it on lock. But a Cobb County school won the first time they had a high school competition, and then a Fulton County school won the second time around. So I'm calling out DeKalb County. What's up, DeKalb? Pull up. Show them what you about. I know y'all got that fire. But kudos to Jonesboro, kudos to Westlake, etc. Now, also, you're seeing a lot of these band programs present just kind of their behind the scenes, that they're in band practice, and, you know, the yard is about to be on fire with welcome week, with students moving in and all that sort of stuff. But the bands are in rehearsal. The kids are at band camp right now. They've done their summer intensives where the kids come to band camp from the high schools to see what the style is like. And now they're locking in on their program. More specifically, I'm talking about Jackson State University, the sonic boom of the South. Now, if you guys have been paying attention, they just did their merger performance where they present their rookies of the season. So they have the rookie dancers for the auxiliary and the rookie band members, and they have them on two different sides so you can hear and see what they're going to look like. And then they merge them together in like a celebratory performance. Now, I've never had the chance to experience this firsthand, but just from the looks of it, chef's kisses. The band not coming to play. And the freshmen in their white shirts, they got that fire, y'all. They got that fire. And me more specifically loving the HBCU dance genre, we got the J sets with a legacy baby. Janier, you did your thing, sister girl. We looking out for your baby. No pressure, girl. But we watching. We're definitely watching, and I know you're going to kill it. We see you, girl. No pressure. Okay? But as I point out, baby girl, I'm going to leave her nameless because I don't want y'all harassing her. Y'all probably already know who she is, but I'm going to leave her nameless right now because we're not trying to put no pressure on the babies. Okay? Mental health is very important, and it's already a lot of pressure that I'm sure she feels. She also, danced for very popular community teams as well, dance studios. So we wish you all the best of luck. With that being said, one of the main reasons why I'm going to be doing content on my TikTok and my Instagram that highlights HBCU dance lines, I'm going to be breaking down and doing reviews of the field shows. Why am I doing the field shows? Nobody really watches. Y'all don't really get into the field shows like that. Y'all go crazy for the stand routines that's being thrown on TikTok. And the truth of the matter is that anybody can learn an 8 count. The stand routines are the easiest thing for you to do. Yes, they're fun. Yes, they're sexy. Yes, they're hot. Yes, they're energetic. That's great. But that's not what's going to get you into college. Okay. And as I have coached at the high school level, middle school level, in these community teams, when they bring me out, I specifically teach HBCU technique and style. So I really focus on the technique, which when you go to these auditions for these teams, the last thing they want to see is a stand. Everybody can throw a stand. Everybody and anybody can throw a stand. Okay? But they really want to see your technique. The first thing that they want to look at is your progressions across the floor. What are your agility skills? Can you do a switch leap? Can you do a calypso? Can you do a grand jeté? Can you do an out Saccone leap? Can you do out Saccone turns? Some of y'all don't even know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to be reviewing these field shows, not only from the top HBCU dance lines, but from some of the smaller division dance lines, because guess what? Everybody not going to make it to Southern. Everybody's not going to be a Stingette. Most of you won't be a Golden Girl, and hardly you'll be a J-Set. And that's not said to discourage you, because I want you to go after the big dream. However, major comma, if you don't have a technique and a foundation, it's just not going to work in your favor. I was at a intensive that I was hosting in New York City, not mine specifically, but at another one that was hosted by someone else. They hired me to come in, conduct a panel discussion. And I met this former Stingette, and she was just like, yeah, when I came to perform with my team in New York City, I came from a studio, and they were looking down on me, and they didn't care that I had technique from a studio because this is something completely different. Respectfully, she was the only person from her team that made it to the Stingettes. Why is that, you think? Because she had technique. Most people are not going to make the major teams without technique. As quiet as it's kept, look at the former captain from Texas Southern University. Mama's technique down. Danielle Stamper is technique down. So we're not focusing on the stand routines. We may throw a couple stand routines here and there, but more so than anything, we're going to be focusing on the field show performances because we're going to break down the techniques that you see there. And that hope is that you're going to not only review it as like entertaining content, but that you're going to go to your local studio. You're going to go to your backyard, whatever resource that you have to learn how to be better if that is your desire for the team. Because more than anything, the Glitz and Ghetteaux podcast and my platform specifically are about educating and uplifting excellence. I will be doing you a disservice if I just showed you a stand routine. We got to do better. So, not going to overcook your grits there, But I did want to come in and let y'all know that the Glitz and Ghetto podcast is going to continue talking about the nitty-gritty of the entertainment industry, the glitz and ghetto parts of it. But we also going to be deep diving into HBCU culture. We're going to be following along the Band of the Year championship with ESPN. And I know some of y'all got y'all feelings. That's okay. I was invested with this institution way before it became a Band of the Year championship. I was there when it was the rankings, okay? I was the person that was sitting with the directors and calculating scores. I was on the sideline doing it. I was helping to build up the interest in it. And so now we're here. I'm invested now. I'm invested now. And so I'm going to do it on my own platform, and I hope you guys will follow along. We will do segments that, like I said, pertain to the entertainment industry, but in the fall, we ball, and we're going to be dissecting zero, quarter, halftime, and the fifth quarter, and more so focusing on reviews of the field show features of the dance line, because that's where the magic really happens. That's what separates the pros from the amateurs. Okay? So, I love y'all. This has been really exciting. I hope y'all stay tuned. I hope you tag a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend. I hope you send me an email, even if it's just about HBCU culture, even if it's just about whatever questions you may have. Please, 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 please do me the biggest favor. Shoot us an email at the email that's on the screen at glitzandghetto@gmail.com. And please follow us on all social media platforms. That's glitz and _ ghetto, GLITZ and _ ghetto, GHETTEAUX on YouTube and Instagram. And we're just going to be dropping all the gems there. And, I want to know who y'all want to see. Drop me a comment. Let me know who you want me to review first. All the things. What games you want to see me at. All the things, because I'm really here to give y'all what y'all want, but also to add that, HBCU educational element to it. Okay? Either way, I love y'all so much. And this is another episode of the Glitz and Ghetto, holding the mic in my hand, podcast, where we make things happen. See ya. Peace.
Sheesh. Yeah. Everybody want to be in entertainment till it's time to get down to the business. Yeah. It's all smoke and mirrors. What you can't see behind our public figures. Know you convinced by the glitz and the glam, but let's talk about how it really goes down. The sleep was nice, the sacrifice, your rate of pay, pay you the stripes. Yeah, they want you to stay in your lane. Got too many talents with your claim to fame. Opportunities unlimited. Look at Naderah. That girl is living it in. She bringing out all of her friends to talk about it so you understand. They talk about all of the noise all over the blogs and in the tabloids. So teaching the industry lessons they learn. So turn up the volume so you don't get burnt. Film and TV, she does that. Theatrical, she been that. And Glitz and Ghetto is our podcast to show you how to achieve that. You were born to entertain, but this ain't for leisure. You came to get paid. The Glitz and Glamour is a setup, cause behind the scenes it really is ghetto. Yeah, Glitz and Ghetto, Glitz and Ghetto, yeah, Glitz and Ghetto, Glitz and Ghetto. You were born to entertain, but this ain't for leisure. You came to get paid. The Glitz and Glamour is a setup, cause behind the scenes it really is ghetto. Yeah, Glitz and Ghetto, Glitz and Ghetto, yeah, Glitz and Ghetto, it's Glitz and Ghetto, Glitz and Ghetto, it's Glitz and Ghetto. The Glitz and Glamour is a setup, cause behind the scenes it really is ghetto.